if weather was real, then we would actually need weather reports. Hello, everybody. Jason is a size 11 shoe, depending on the size of the shoe. I happen to be a 10 and a half.
He's a size 11, depending on the size. Well, yeah.
Well, that's what you said!
I said the shape. The shape.
Whatever!
It matters.
The shape has to do with the size.
That's not true. A square can be any size, but it's still a square.
Shoes aren't squares, bro!
But it's still shoe-shaped. It's still oblong.
What does that word mean?
It means like irregular,
Okay.
like oddly long.
Okay. Like odd long, but ob.
Yeah.
Cool. Welcome to Under the Desk, everybody.
What size shoe are you?
10 and a half, usually.
Nice.
Something like that.
Depending on the shape of the shoe.
Yeah, dude, I showed you those sweet shoes I bought for prom, right?
Yes.
Those are like an 8.5. But like, because they're so
dress shoes?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm also, I think, an 8.5/9 in dress
Okay.
shoes.
Maybe
like
dress shoes are just weird.
Yeah, dress shoes are weird.
Interesting.
That's why I said the shape of the shoe matters, dude.
I agreed with you.
Like I said to you, like 20 seconds before
Yeah.
the episode, I was like, my maroon ones, I'm a 10.5.
Yeah.
My black and white ones, I'm an 11. My beautiful and white ones, I'm an 11. And it's just cuz, you know? With like boots, I have no idea, but it's not a 10.5.
I just wear a pair of steel-toed boots, and I don't even know what size they are.
They just are like conformed.
They
to
fit on
feet.
my foot, and I can walk in them.
That is, there you go.
That's all I need.
Qualifications.
That's all I need.
So welcome back to another episode of Under the Desk.
Yeah.
Our topic is space, actually.
Space/temporary interests.
Oh right, I
Um,
totally forgot that we decided not space.
We'll talk about both, because my first temporary interest that I was going to bring up was theoretical physics.
Oh, I love theoretical physics.
I was hardcore, like, putting myself on a path to win a Nobel Prize for theoretical physics at, like, 13 years old. The summer before I started guitar.
Wow.
I would watch documentaries on string theory and whatever. I was at my grandma's house, and she gave me a book about string theory to read, and I was just, like, so into it because I love space, and just, like, it's so cool. And so I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then I found guitar, and I was like, this is better.
Fair enough.
And, like, if I've probably said this on the show, if I wasn't a musician, I would be a theoretical physicist because I love space that much, or at least an astronomer or some shit like that. Just because, man, space is so rad.
It really is the coolest. I've said this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said it on the show, but I've said it to you definitely. If NASA or SpaceX nowadays
Yeah.
or whoever needed like a manned mission to go
Yeah.
into space, and they were like, "You will die," like they were like, "You will not return home." But like,
I'd go.
I would
I'd go.
100% volunteer and go.
Yeah,
because,
I'd go with you, man. We'd have so much fun.
dude. It'd be crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Like I don't care if I know that I'm gonna have a horrible, painful, awful, scary death, or like just die in general while I'm in space. Just to go to space would be the coolest thing I'd ever.
Yeah.
I would leave
Yeah.
everything behind. The only thing that would ever potentially like make me hesitate
Yeah.
is like having a wife and kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be like,
Why can't they just come, though? Why can't they be cool about it?
yeah, I'd just be like, let me just like think about it. I was like,
I feel like that's sort of a prerequisite to marrying somebody. Listen, if I had the opportunity to go into space forever and never come back, I'm going, so I need you to be cool
see,
with
the
that.
problem that I have is like I know I'm gonna love my wife probably more than I love space.
I mean, fair.
So it's like die in space alone or not die.
But
not
that's
in
the point.
space.
She could go with you, and then you wouldn't be alone.
But then I'm just killing her, and like that's even more depressing.
She agreed to go. That's like her thing.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I
there,
love
there,
space.
there are situations in which, yeah,
Yeah,
I would still go to space.
Do you have any temporary interests, like little things like that, where like, man, I'm really, really into archery for like a year, which happened to me. I was really, really into archery. like really, there are still rusting arrows in my yard.
Nice.
I put a hole in a soccer ball. I felt awesome about it because it was like far away, and I was just like, I'm gonna shoot an arrow near that, and then it like hit it and like popped the thing, and I was like, hell yeah.
That's awesome. I don't actually know, to be honest. I can't remember. I mean, I know that like career-wise, like I've always wanted to be a zoologist, but that's like with omission
Yeah.
of like the truth. It's not that I have. It's like I always have, like when I was a kid. Like that was the first thing I ever thought I wanted to be was, well, technically I only knew scientist as a word, so it just said scientist, and then it became zookeeper because I didn't know what zoologist was. Then it became zoologist. But for that, I just say always I wanted to become a zoologist. But then when I was in middle school, like it changed around a little bit.
Yeah.
Zoology was always the back burner, but for a while I was like, I'm really into video games because like that's what I do with my life.
Yeah.
So like I really want to do that and just like become like a video game designer, and then
I would love to do that.
see
I would love to design games.
here's the thing. I didn't want to do the technical aspect of it. I didn't want to actually like use the programming to design them. I wanted to write the stories for them.
Yeah, like Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yes,
Love that guy.
he's awesome. But I was like, that's way more, like that's way harder to do, and like I actually don't want to do it after I thought about it. Cause I had them. I don't know if I've talked about this on the show, but there was a moment in 9th grade when I was at my friend's house. He just moved there, and he had a river going through his house, or like not through his house, but like through his yard. I mean, and like,
I feel like I know who this is.
yeah, this is Kyle.
Oh yeah. Love you, Kyle.
And so,
Kyle, you're such a nice guy. Honestly,
Kyle's-
like you've been so
Kyle's great.
cool, and I love you.
Yeah, it's just
I
been-
appreciate you a lot, man.
Yeah, he's just a consistently awesome, chill dude. And so I was just at his house, and everyone was like, we're all just hanging out, chilling around, and everyone else was doing their thing. And I was just on my own with a bug net in the river, catching like minnows for like literally 2 hours. And I was like, if I can do this, like if I can ignore my friends at a new place and just do this for like 2 hours and be totally and completely enraptured in it, then I can do this with not just minnows for the rest of my life. So like
That's me with music, man.
Yeah.
I could just like sit at a piano and like forget about everybody.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
like there have been times where like we're at somebody's house and I see a guitar and I pick it up and or whatever, and
I
I'm
know.
just like not talking to
That's
people.
been my house.
Yeah,
and it's okay.
awesome.
I implore you to do that because it's
Sweet.
awesome.
Thank you.
But so like I've had temporary moments where I'm like, maybe I don't want to do that for my life, but I'm like, yeah, I do. But I mean, there was like I took jujitsu for 3 years.
Hell yeah,
That was super fun.
ninja.
Yeah, I want to get back into it. I really do, but like it costs money.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like,
oh yeah.
and I don't have time anymore because like we have a
Yeah.
job.
A
And,
couple
like, I have
friends of mine do
homework.
Krav Maga, and I would love to learn Krav Maga.
I can start doing Krav
but it's
Maga
like
if I wanted to.
$50 a lesson. So I was
Yeah.
like, fuck that.
Like I could have learned like because my mom goes to her kickboxing gym. They
Yeah.
also do Krav Maga there,
Ooh.
and I like was low
Woo.
key like really close to start doing it.
Yeah.
But then I was like, it's like a lot of money, and that would take up my like my Saturday and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, but
Oh.
I don't know. There's
Yeah, dude. Another thing about like choosing your career and whatever, I played guitar once for 8 hours straight. Like I barely put it down. Like that's like if you're in that place with a hobby or whatever, just do that as your job.
Yeah, like it doesn't need to remain a hobby. Like if it's something you are passionate about, then you can do that as a
Yeah.
career. Like
I'm like vocal about this, and I'm not vocal about a lot. like I am, but not about like this thing. Like I'm gonna talk about it at you for a while, and I'm never gonna let up about it. Like do what you want. Like don't do shit because like your parents want you to become a certain thing, or like you feel like
That
it's a
it's necessary.
risky idea. Like I know people who are like I really really love this, but it's just too risky, and I'm like fuck that. Like just do it.
like just do it. You'll make it work.
Yeah, if you love it and you can't love it enough to make it work, you can work hard enough to make it work. Like That's my thing. As long as you have the drive and the patience and the dedication and the passion for something, it will work.
Yeah.
So like, you know, my dad loved sailing, so he was a professional sailor. My mom loved photography, so she did photography. Like, I love music, so I'm doing nothing but music, and I make that very clear to my
Oh, yeah.
parents. Like, I'm never going to do something long term that I don't want to, because like I'm literally gonna die. And so like fuck sitting in a cubicle. Like that is the worst thing I could think of. And like if that's your best thing, then do it. Like my ideas don't have to be like if music is the worst thing for you, I don't give a fuck. Just like do what you love. And if what you love is programming computers, then do that all the time. If what you love is filming, then film all the time. If you love writing poetry or like writing stories or whatever, just
Then
like
do it.
do it. I sit in like calculus and forensics class and I work out theory and I'm thinking of lyrics and whatever. Like just make it your whole thing. Like it's so hard for me because I've been with music for so long. It's so hard for me to wrap my head around when people don't go home and have something like to do. Cuz like all I do in my free time is like play music. So for people who
That's me.
yeah, and I don't get it. Like,
Because-
do you see what I'm dealing with? Like, if you love zoology, how do you not study zoology every waking moment you have?
Because I just know a lot about it already, and so I'm like, there's not a lot I can do now.
Yeah, that's what I
You know what I mean?
understand.
Like once
but
I get to
like,
college,
yeah,
I'm gonna like eat that up.
yeah.
But like that's because that's when I get like
Yeah.
once I get to college.
It's just weird for me
now,
to
it's just,
think
like-
that
like-
there's something you can't do. Because like for me, it's like I could, you know, like what is in the key of E flat, and using theory knowledge, just like this is what's in the key of E flat. There you go. That's my theory internal lesson for today. Now I can do whatever I want. Like I just always have something I'm working towards. Like people who are just like content with what's going on, I don't get. And like I'm very happy that they are content because like that's obviously an
good for
awesome
you.
place to be. Like to be happy with what's going on, that's awesome. It's just weird for me that like people don't have something they're striving for. And maybe they just don't tell it to me, and like maybe it's another thing. Like, man, I wanna, you know, I wanna retire at this age, and if that's what they're working towards, then like do it. Like
Yeah.
make that your thing. Just like have a thing, man. Have a thing.
Yeah, it's just like for me, like I don't when I get home, like I generally am just like, all right, and I just kind of like chill, and like I don't necessarily
Yeah.
do something for zoology. That's just because like I feel that I genuinely know a decent amount, at least for like what I
Yeah.
accept
Yeah.
about zoology, that like that I could understand at this point, like not understand, but like that I can imagine learning right now. Like, you know, I've basically spent like spent like 2 years in bio
Yeah.
like worth of class, because like for like I spent my actual year there, and then I went to other periods during my actual year in bio, and then now I still go to other periods, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and people are like, are you in this class? I'm like, no, I took this last year, and they're like, why are you here? And I'm like, because I love this stuff.
That's what
Like,
I do with theory. Like
exactly,
when I
like-
had study during fourth period, I sort of fell out of it just because I got busy and I wanted time for myself to just chill.
Right.
Because like I need that. We talked about that. I have a recharge period I gotta meet. But for a while I would just like hang out in theory class and like listen to theory stuff. And like now in fourth and fifth period, whatever, forensics and calculus, I'm emailing my teachers questions about theory, and I'm like, hey Whitman, is this how modes work, and is this what this one does, and how do I use that? And she's like, this. And I'm like, is it different in jazz? Because I know jazz theory is different. Are they spelled out differently? Do they start in different places? What does it do with the key? And she's like, this. And I'm like, all right, cool. And like I'm just trying to learn all the time, and like maybe that's just because I feel so behind in music knowledge. Like a lot of people have such a better grasp on it, and it comes a lot more naturally, that I'm like, wow, and I'm just like stunned by it, and so I want to get to that place, so like I'm always working towards it. So maybe that's it. But
that
you
makes
know.
sense. I'm also lazy. That's the other thing. Like, there's a kid
Yeah,
the only other kid I know that wants to become a zoologist.
Yeah.
And
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And not for nothing, but like that kid knows a lot. He
Yeah.
knows more than me about animals, and it makes me feel very insecure and very annoyed.
Dude, do you know
It
how
bothers the shit out of me.
when I see friends of mine, like good friends, play music and just like stuff just like comes out, I'm like angry at them.
Right? I
Like,
think that's part of why, like, I've ever like not liked the kid. Like, I do like the kid, like he's
Yeah.
nice, but like, literally, if I was like, I used to be mean to him, and I'm 98% sure that like that has at least a large portion of
Yeah.
it. I'm like, I want to know this. Why do you know this and why don't I? Like, why do you know more about this crap? Like, why are you more likely to get the job than I am? Like, it just bothers me because like
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally
feel
get it.
entitled to my career because I'm like, I'm the only person I know besides him now that has ever wanted to become a zoologist. And every time I've told someone that, they're like, "That's super cool," and I'm like, "Thank you." And I'm like, "I just
Thanks!
like cool. I'm gonna do it. Like that's what I'm gonna do. That's what
Yeah.
my life is gonna be."
You just got to
And
be
then-
careful going
and then-
into a college studying that because there are going to be a lot of people that know more than you.
See, this is the problem. I am doing that. I'm going.
Yep.
I'm going to Oregon State for zoology, and I feel like I'm gonna be boned once I get there. But then on the other hand, I'm like, I'm really not, because one, I'm really good at like learning and like understanding things. So like once I get there, I'm gonna be fine.
Because half the joy in what needs to be there for a career for me is the joy in learning more about it.
Yeah.
So like, I could spend like 6 hours in a room with people who know way more about music than me and just grill them with questions until they hate me. Like
I would do that with
there was-
zoologists. I'd be
there
like,
was a-
what do you do? Like, how do you
Yeah,
get this job? Like, what is
exactly.
it like? Like, can I be there?
Yeah.
Can I intern for you?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
can I
Like
live
there was
with
this
you?
there was this catering job
Can
I
be your
did.
kid,
Dad.
Dad.
There was this catering job I did where like there was this guitarist there for the wedding, and like it was like about to rain or something, and so I was there supposed like in case it rained, I had the umbrella and I was standing near him so that his stuff would be okay, and like I questioned him for like 20 minutes until he said to me, "I need you to leave." Like he was
Wow.
like, "Go stand over there and don't talk to me,"
Wow.
because I was just like, "Oh, why do you have this? Can I take a look at that? Like, what do you?" What is this about? Like, da 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 da. And he was like, would you stop?
Damn, dude. That's,
Like, I've reached that point with people.
That is-
and
that
I'm
is-
not sorry.
that's-
Because,
that
like,
you
I'm going to
shouldn't
do
be.
that every time.
that's actually hilarious, though.
Yeah. But, like, I just love learning more about it and being like, whoa, this is how I use that thing. And, like, da 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 da. And, like, whoa, you can do that? Show me how you did that. That kind of thing.
I feel that
Um,
because whenever I learn something new about like an animal or like whatever, I'm
Mm.
like, whoa. I'm like,
Does
dude.
anybody else know this?
Like literally, when I learn a new fact, I will use it and tell it to at least 2 people that day. Like guaranteed.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I've told you many facts randomly. And I'm like, I had to just tell someone like, it's
Oh,
so
I totally
cool.
get it.
Like it's
I
so
totally get it.
cool because like
That was me
animals-
with Roche limits, bro. I was like, shit explodes in space because, and people were like,
Because.
stop, and I was like, no.
Nah, dude, that's
I brought that up in my college interview for Berkeley. I was like, listen, I love space. Have you ever heard of Roche limits? And he was like, no, and I was like, hold on.
that's bad.
It was awesome.
That's what I do during physics class.
Yeah.
I'll just like when I'm presenting like,
Riff
the
on
whiteboard,
awesome shit.
Yeah, or like anything in general, like because I don't give a shit about
Yeah.
that class. That class is a joke.
Uh,
So like whenever we're whiteboarding, I'll just like be like, "Oh yeah," and it's similar to like this thing, and everyone doesn't answer because no one cares. And then I'm
Oh.
like, yada 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 yada. Anyways, back to the actual assignment here. This is the answer. Done. This is how you do it, and it takes
Yeah.
like 2 seconds. But like I make it like 10 minutes of like me explaining something. Like
Yeah.
today. Like one of the problems had to do with dropping a cherry pit out of like a car or whatever, and I was just like, let me just draw like my best effort at like a '67 Chevy Impala, and then someone like Jess was just like, "Yo, nice car," and I was like, "Thank you." It was my best effort at drawing a '67 Chevy Impala because it's friggin' cool, and I love it. It's a cool car. That is my second, like kind of half second. I don't know how that works. Dream car. My first is a 1965 electric blue with a mint green or white interior and mint green trim T-Bird. Convertible.
dude, Alphabet Street, Prince mentions Thunderbirds.
Dude.
I'm gonna drive my daddy's Thunderbird.
Dude, they're cool. They're
Yeah.
so cool.
Show me a picture when we're done because
Okay.
I would love to look at that car.
It's
Um,
amazing. I want it. So
Dude,
bad.
I'm honestly pretty sure a Thunderbird might have been what became part of Prince's set. Like he would for the Love Sexy tour because in the basically Sign of the Times, then Love Sexy. That's all you need to know. Sign of the Times, car was part of the stage. Like the stage was on top of the hood of a car.
Right. Naturally.
Love Sexy, he drives a car onto the stage. Like he's doing like loops on it and shit and like he rides in, he gets off, he does his thing and then he leaves the venue in a car right off the stage.
That's dope.
And I'm pretty sure it might have been a Thunderbird, but don't quote me on that cuz
Maybe.
I don't know cars at all.
It's okay. They're cool.
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about cars.
Yeah.
I just know like I want that car.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
'cause it's awesome. But like, yeah. I feel like
Cool.
I was gonna say something else. Oh right, I used Love
Yeah.
Sexy the other day. I don't remember when, but it was like
You used it or you listened to it?
I used like the name. I was like,
Oh, cool.
someone was like, we have to pretend to be whatever, and I was like, I'm Dr. Love Sexy,
Ha!
and then
Yes.
they're like, really, and I was like, yeah, Prince, what about?
I am integrating. I am absorbing the population.
I am integrating successfully with one compatible.
Dude, I listen. Okay, basically, my dad has a friend who loves music, and so he has.
Work at Nintendo.
My dad is Nintendo. My dad's Shigeru Minamoto, and my mom is Link. So, have you seen the? I don't know. Have you seen any footage from Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, I saw.
And like the girl outfit he wears.
Yes.
First of all, I would wear that, and second of all, like, yeah, that's the version of Link I would want to be my mom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just because it's like the feminine version, I'm all about that.
Yeah. Femme fatale.
Yeah, but
Dude, I wish my mom was an assassin. Not my mom, but like, I wish I had an assassin mom. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, my dad is a friend who loves music, and so he has like 1 million albums. And so I asked him like, "Hey, do you have any Prince albums?" And so I took a look, and he got me
All of them.
not all of them. He actually had much less than I had anticipated. And it was kind of disappointing because there was this album called The Rainbow Children that I really want to listen to because it's supposed to have some amazing jazz stuff. But he didn't have it. However, he did have the Black Album, also known as the Funk Bible, which is the album that Prince was going to release in 1988 and then pulled back at the last minute like he did 5 other times that I know about so far, and released Love Sexy instead. And so like he would like subliminally message in his music videos like, don't listen to the Black Album, don't listen to the Black Album, like, because he basically what he believed is there was a lot of, you know, like sinful material or whatever, because he was fucking uber religious. He believed there was a lot of like, you know, people shouldn't be listening to this, like this is evil music, like that kind
Wow.
of thing. Like he was intense about it, and he was like, no, nobody's listening to this, and they had like 500,000 copies made, and he was like, no, nobody's listening to this, but they sent out like 50,000 anyway, just because like they had to,
Right.
like it was already going, so like and so Love Sexy took its place, and Love Sexy is like very religious, like positivity. Literally, last track is called Positivity. Have you had your plus sign today? Love that song. But there's such different albums, and I listened to the Black Album for I was listening to it at work today, and like honestly, not a good album. Like those songs aren't awesome, and I'm so glad he released Love Sexy instead. Like Love Sexy is one of his most experimental albums ever, just like with melodies and shit, and it was fantastic. That's like my favorite Prince album probably of all time, just because it's fantastic.
Nice.
And like it was weird to listen to the Black Album and be like, he's gonna put that out, and then be like, and he didn't. And I get that.
But the reasons I don't get.
Yeah.
If he was like, it's a bad album, I'd be like, all right, cool.
All right, cool.
But he's like, it's blasphemy. That's
I mean, I get why it was, because he there was a lot of like questionable talk, and it was weird. It's a weird album. Like,
interesting.
it's I don't know, man. It's a weird album. There's like prostitute shit. People get killed on that album. Like,
Whoa.
yeah, there are like sounds of guns firing on that album, like at people. Not like in real life, like he shot a person, but like
Well,
the
you don't know
character in the
that.
song is supposed to have been shot.
But do you know
Um,
that for sure?
No.
Exactly.
And like it's weird because he performed songs from the Black Album anyway.
You gotta
So it was like if you
sample.
didn't want anybody to listen to that, why'd you play it?
Yeah, that was dumb.
I feel like it might have been a marketing move, which I totally get.
Yeah.
But
don't listen to
either
it.
way, listen to Love Sexy instead because it's better.
That could be it. Like, don't listen to this album. Obviously, it makes you want to listen to it.
Exactly.
And like, there's only 50,000 copies out of the possible 500, which
Yeah.
means only 10% of them
Makes them
will-
more valuable.
went out, which makes them more valuable, more rare, and what makes people want to listen to them more.
Yeah.
Even though it's a bad album.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not like there are like the musicality is always wonderful with Prince. It's just like I don't my
Jive
opinion
with
of it. Yeah, I don't jive with it. Thank you. That is exactly what I needed. I do not jive with that album for the most part. Like there are multiple songs where I'm like and then like I have not heard a single bop on that album at all.
Wow.
Like at all. They like nothing is like like there's this song "Wonderful Ass" that's great, just like that woman's ass in that song, allegedly,
Allegedly.
allegedly. But that like that can be found on the deluxe version of Purple Rain that came out last year. So that was my first sort of because it was written I think during the Purple Rain era, and he just didn't use it until the Black Album or the Funk Bible. So that's the only like bop. And then there's When Two Are in Love, which is on Love Sexy. That's the only song he kept, and I get because that's a great song.
Right.
Like that and Wonderful Ass are like the two good songs on the album, but everything else is like fucking what? I don't get it, which is weird because normally I get Prince stuff because like fuck man,
Yeah.
love it. Anyway, enough about this. Is not the second Prince episode.
No, this is like the 10th Prince episode.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, it's
Well, anyways.
we're done for today, I think.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, have a great day, everybody.
Thanks
Hope
for
you enjoyed this
listening.
episode. This is. I hope more episodes are like this, because this episode was what we had anticipated the show being a lot like, where it was just
Yeah.
like shit goes everywhere, and I think we've been focused on like this is what we're talking about for this episode, and I feel like it's cooler almost if we just like go off.
I
on
mean,
weird
I
shit.
purposely did the first thing that you
Yeah, I
did
know.
because that's what I envisioned it to be.
Yeah.
But mixed with going on tangents,
Yeah.
which
I think if we have a healthy amount of both type of episode, we'll be golden.
sounds good to me.
So yeah, have a great day, everybody. Enjoy life and your career.
Yeah.
You know,
Do what you want.
yeah, as long as it doesn't hurt yourself or anybody else.
Exactly.
That is my criteria. So
Bye.
goodbye. I don't play by your daddy's rules.